Our first speaker is Dr. Firdous Ahmad Malik from University of People's USA, United States of America. Dr. Firdous Ahmad Malik is currently working as Associate Professor Economics at University of People in Pasadena, California, United States. Prior, he has served as Research Fellow at the National Institute of Public Finance and Policy and Senior Research Associate at Jindal Centre for Global South at OP Jindal Global University, Sonipat, Haryana, India. Dr. Firdous graduated uh, his PhD and MPhil both in economics from Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow, India, while he receives his postgraduate in economics from University of Kashmir. Further, he has served as in academic world through his renowned publications in national and international journal of Springer, Elsevier, Till and Francis, and other Scopus index journals. Apart from research articles, Dr. Firdous holds onus of contribution to publications of 6 books till date. These books names include Financial Inclusion Schemes in India by Springer Publications, Financial Behavior of Urban Dwellings in India, Norton Press, Asymmetry of Information and Leading Risk Livelihood Patterns of Street Vendors in India, Book Clinic, Health System in Jammu and Kashmir, Challenges and Opportunities, Sneakies. I will also introduce you Dr. Smriti Mahajan, who will present with Dr. Firdos. Dr. Smriti Mahajan is an accomplished academician and industry professional with over 11 plus years of experience in teaching, research, administration. She currently serves as associate professor and head of department in School of Commerce and Management at Lingia's Vidyapeeth, Faridabad, India. Also, she holds a PhD in green marketing, an MBA in biotechnology, and graduation degree in biotechnology. Her areas of specialization includes digital marketing, strategy marketing, consumer behavior, brand management, international business. She has authored 2 books, more than 10 chapters, case studies, 5 design patents, and 20 utility patents, India and international patents. Her research contributions include several international scientific papers and review papers. Dr. Mahajan has been speaker for the World Innovation Patent Conclave, guest of honor for IPR Cell, BIT Raipur, project judge, BIMT Bangalore, session chair for seminar and conferences, and resource speakers for FDPs and MDPs. So it's privilege for me to introduce these people. Anyone of you who have been attending our conferences knows Dr. Firdos, and Dr. Firdos is a research scholar, a personal friend of mine. And Dr. Firdos, the time is yours.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, Dr. Firdos, you're audible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear esteemed colleagues and conference attendees. I am honored, really, to stand before you today as we gather at 2024 Icpm Malaysia Conference to delve into the crucial theme of people post-money. As we embark on the journey, I am reminded of the profound impact that prioritizing people has on organizational success and overall well-being of the people. It is our fast-paced and ever-evolving world. It is imperative that we refocus our attention on the heart of every organization. It is people by placing individuals at the forefront of our strategy. We not only cultivate a more inclusive and support work environment, but also drive sustainable growth and innovation. Throughout my career, I have been witness the transformative power of the people post money. It is actually a philosophy that goes beyond policies and procedures. It encompasses a mindset that places value on the unique talent, perspectives, and aspirations of every individual within organization. Today, I invite you to join me in exploring the tangible benefits of this approach, from enhanced employees' engagement and retention to highlighting organizational performance. As we navigate through this conference lets us challenge ourselves to embrace a leadership style that prioritizes empathy, empowerment, and genuine human connection. Let us seek to build workplaces where every voice is heard, every contribution is valued, and every person is given the opportunity to thrive. Together, let us pave the way for a new era of people first management. But the success of our organization is intricately linked to well-being and fulfillment of our greatest asset, that is our people. I am truly excited to embark on this journey with all of you. I look forward to insightful discussions and dialogue and exchanges that lie ahead. Let me present my presentation. So am I allowed to share my presentation?
Uh,
Yeah, is my presentation visible?
yes, it is. Yes, it is visible now, Dr. Firdaus. You can go ahead, please.
I find this conference quite unique, where we are discussing the central point on the people first management. So the question arises, the motivation arises, why we need people consideration, why would should focus on people management. If we try to understand the people management, it is that approach which talks about the well-being, development, empowerment of employees within the organization, to recognize the most valuable assets of the organization. So in my presentation, the first slide, which clearly mentions or empowers the central theme of this conference is the people management push. So therefore, the dynamic business environment, it requires deep understanding of the human behavior, which gives us the opportunity or ability to harness the power of organization, where valuable asset is not money, not infrastructure, not road, not profit, not credit, but the central effort is people. So the most valuable of any organization, whether it is academia, industry, they are only the people. So this in this presentation, we will try to understand how important are the people, and we will explore it through the perspectives of social science. We'll try to leverage our understanding what social science subjects are encompassing us, how we can value or leverage human capital and drive into the organizational sector. So if we try to understand the human behavior or human capital, we can better understand it with the three core subjects, that is psychology, sociology, and anthropology. If you are a learned student or you have been the student of educational development, then definitely you have gone through some of the theories, some of the understanding, some of the learning, some of the definitions of psychology, which teaches us that what motivates an individual or a person, how an individual takes a decision, how cognitive mindset decides or helps an individual to think. And this approach where we are talking about people first management, it is a learning where HR management or leadership should take initiatives on the basis of these perspectives. Where psychology teaches us that individuals are different. Where psychology makes us understand that there are different traits, there are differences between individuals, there are capabilities and capacities which which are altogether different between one individual or other. So to understand the human behavior, we should learn the insights from the psychology. We should try to understand the theories of motivations, where the great Professor Ibrahim Masuli, he talks about that how hierarchy explains the needs, where self needs are pushed formalized. Then the individual goes to the next stage where he explains her or himself about the self determination. So Massilian
Dr.
tries.
Firdos, I would request you to kindly put the slide on the slideshow. Sorry for the disturbance. Thank you, sir.
So it is now visible.
Yes, sir, it is now visible. Thank you, sir.
So the great Massilian, who has contributed different theories, the theory of motivation, where he is talking about that how an individual supposed to focus on his self-interest while his basic needs are fulfilled. Then he can shift to the next stage that is called self-determination. So definitely, if we try to understand this approach, these insights from the psychology, same applies to the organization, where an individual, we have already discussed it in the first slide, is the main valuable asset of any organization. He should give the basic, areas. He should give the environment where he will have self-esteem, his growth and development at the first level. Then he can, determine the other. Similarly, the perspectives of sociology, which gives us understanding of group dynamic, which tries to understand of that how important is culture and how crucial it is playing role in fostering collaborations and innovation. Sociology gives us the concept of family, kinship, and the various relationships which definitely contribute great profit. So if we try to move to the next social science subject, that is called anthropology, which not only merges us in a group or teamwork, but it makes us understand different cultures and gives us the values where we are embracing diversity, which lead the sad term that which gives us the understanding of more inclusive and effective workplace. So if we try to sum up all the social science subjects that are psychology, sociology, and anthropology, they are connected to understand us that how individuals are different, how traits are different, how capabilities and capacities are different. Then sociology in a community, how leadership, how family, they are working together. Then anthropology, how we should address diversity, how we should work together, how it helps us to be more inclusive. So these are the understanding of social science. If we try to move that effective communication and collaboration, we are trying to understand in this conference that the central idea of any organization is a human capital. It should be great value. So the first previous slide, we have tried to understand the social science subjects and their perspectives, how they can help us to contribute for the development of a people, for the management of a people. But there is one more stage where we have to talk about active communication and collaboration. So if we try to interpersonal skills, developing strong communication skills is essential for building trust, rapport, and productive relations. Nowadays we are having AI, we are having machine where we are learning codes, where we are dwelling, or the technology is evolving, we have to update ourselves. We have to learn, seek, we have to contribute. So therefore, we have to develop these interpersonal skills. We have to, focus on strong communication skills. So it is again a challenge for a human how to learn, how to update these skills. These are the questions because we are learning personal money, we are learning people money. So the thing is, we have to work in team. The HR, the leadership, they have to work in the team. They have to understand that difference. They have to understand gender is different, human capital is having differences, IQ is different. So therefore, we have to trust on teamwork. By we foster a collaborative environment, we will accept diverse perspectives and give value, lead better solving and decision. So unless and until we will not recognize, value the people, we cannot lead a better organization. We cannot be a success. So therefore, at an individual level, we can develop interpersonal skills. But at the second level, it is the organization which has to create the environment of the teamwork and give the equal opportunity so that we can solve the problems together. Again, the complex resolution of the important points to discuss with respect to the people management is the effective conflict resolution strategy that can help challenge situation and maintain a harmony. So if there is a conflict, we have we should have a strategy for dealing. Then again, next slide, where we are talking about industry, people management, post perspectives from social science. We try to understand employee motivation and engagement. Again, I have first talked about Ibrahim Maslin's story, where he talks about what are the needs of an individual or a person. Then again, the second story, Hesberg's two-factor theory, he provides insight how an individual will drive, uh, inspire employees. Then again, engagement strategies is the second option, where we try to implement or recognize programs that empower employees, foster their positive work culture, and increase their motivation. Just like in research, we are organizing FDP, we are organizing seminars, and same example is this conference. So by this, these type of event, academic learning, we are giving training, we are learning from the field, we are learning from the expert. So therefore, organizations should try to have engagement strategies where they will organize programs which are need-based to empower their employees, to help them to, learn new skills, to create the environment where they can discuss and solve the issues and problems. Then again, the third point is talent retention. It is one of the crucial points for the success of any organization. It requires a holistic approach to employees development. So let's conclude our presentation. Let's try to understand what we have learned from this today's presentation. If we try to understand the key points of the presentation, key points, what are the key takeaways from this presentation? We have discussed that the central area of any organization, the central asset is the people. So organization should revolve around the people. Then we have discussed that they should value, they should try to understand the learnings from social science subject. We have tried to understand the three insights that are psychology, sociology, and anthropology. Then again, we have tried to give importance to the people by organizing training programs, by focusing on, rather than on competitiveness, try to give value to the people, to nurture their capability and capacity so that they can not only empower themselves, but they can contribute in problem solving. And lastly, there should be action-oriented program by taking the basis of social science, taking the learnings of social science from the great scholars of the Ibrahim Masudi, his stories. These are the teachings where an individual can understand the human behavior, his need and things. Therefore, every organization should have strategies to make the mindset that it is the people who are mostly valuable assets and who can contribute rather than thinking about profit risk and revenue. They should value the human capital. So these are the key takeaways. So I hope we have contributed to this great conference and made the gesture. But we are open. Let us jump for quick question and answer session. Thank you very much.
First of all, I would like to thank you to the organizing committee to invite me here on such a great platform where we can share our thoughts. So, continuing with the presentation, so what is leadership and management styles? As we know that everyone wants to become leader and they want to adopt different management styles. So I have few examples with me for you guys. So there are different 8 to 9 leadership styles right? So first is autocratic leadership. So if I combine the autocratic leadership, that would be a directive leadership. If we can see Steve Jobs, right? He is known for visionary leadership, insisting on final say and making the independent decision without much input of the others. So that is known as autocratic leadership. Second would be the democratic leadership. The democratic leadership we had seen in Abraham Lincoln, who was praised for inclusive leaderships, actively seeking inputs, listening to various viewpoints, and emphasizing on democratic principles and conscious building. He has always seen that inclusive leadership was much required in his zone. Third leadership, when we talk about, so that is laser sphere. In this, what happened if we can talk about the Google's founder Larry Page and Sergey Brin. So we have encouraged, they have encouraged independence and autonomy, allowing employees to pursue personal projects, fostering innovation and creativity, so they can bring something new into the community, into the consumer, so that better they can be benefited from the projects. Further, moving on, we have transformational leadership. The transformational leadership was seen in Nelson Mandela, where he transformed a divided nation, exemplified by vision, charisma, and he had the ability to inspire the hope into the people, where they can lead the social change and reconciliation of the work has been done. Then there is transactional leadership. We get often confused into transformational and transactional. Transformation is when we are transforming by the visions, by the charisma. And when we talk about transactional leadership, that is a very good example of Jack Welch. He is always the result driven approach, setting clear performance targets and implementing a system of rewards and conscious, leading to significant growth and profitability. So Jack Welch has always gone for the significant growth and the profitability we can see into the orientation. Then we have some more like we have charismatic leadership. Martin Luther King Jr. He was known as for his charismatic leadership. His charisma always style inspire millions through his powerful speeches, we can say, an unwavering commitment to the non-violent protests, leading the civil rights movement, and furthermore. So we have bureaucratic management, where the Winston Churchill is a very good example to know, where he meticulously planned military strategies, coordinated government efforts, and mobilized resources during the World War II, which was guided by Britain through a challenging period. Then we have the last one, that is coach style leadership. One of the good example for the coach style leadership is Bill Gates, who was known for mentorship and coaching, supporting education and entrepreneurship, empowering others to achieve their potential through their philanthropy. So these were the different leadership styles. Further, in this, the current slide, we will talk about organizational culture and change management. So we think that how the organizational culture is defined. So it is always defined within which the different changes occur, while change management, that is, which provides a framework, a total framework is there for navigating and implementing the change effectively within that particular context, in which particular frame we are going to work. how effective change management can often involve different aligning changes within the organization culture, and it can also value to foster acceptance and sustainability, as sustainability is much required when we talk about the organizational culture and the change management. The people should have that particular shared values, beliefs, norms, attitude, when we talk about the behavior, how these are different characterized into that particular organization, because it is always going to define the personality of that particular organization, which is going to further influence how people are going to interact and work together, because maximum of the time it is spent in the organization itself. So, talking about into the key elements of this organization culture, that would be the values and beliefs, the norms. What are the expectations for behavior within the organization? Third would be the symbols and rituals. That would be what actions, what ceremonies that reinforce the cultural values of the people who are already working into that particular organization. Language, not much use of jargons should be there. No good terminology should be there. It should be very personal, that people should be able to adopt and know that what we are talking. So that language should be in an appropriate manner. Then we had the leadership style, which we have earlier studied, that we need to see the leadership behavior and practice that shape and reinforce the culture into that particular domain. And the last element, that would be employee engagement, the degree to which employees identify with and contribute to the culture. So further, and what is the change management into that? These are the different processes, tools, techniques which are used to manage that particular organization into a effectively manner. So key elements even for change management are planning, communication, stakeholder engagement, training and development, monitoring and evaluation, and sustainability. A proper planning needs to be done when we are going through the process of change management. Proper two-way communication should be there. Stakeholders engagement needs to be there whenever we are thinking about change management. Training and development, the people of that organization should be well trained and developed to adopt any particular substances. After that, monitoring and evaluation thoroughly needs to be done. And sustainability, that particular model, that particular framework should be that much sustained that further it should be carried forward for years. So for these, the approaches would be four type, that is top to down. Top to down is when the change is driven by leadership with a clear vision communicated from the top. Bottom approach is when the changes is initiated from employees at lower level of the organization with grassroots support and by driving adoption. Incremental is when small manageable steps gradually change occurs implemented over a time. And transformational is when fundamental shift in organization culture, structure, or process takes place. For change management, there are two models in the studies. First is Cotter's 8-step model, and second is Lewin's change management model. In Cotter's 8-step model, we have studied that he has framed the outline of 8 steps for successful change in implementing, including creating a sense of urgency, building a guiding coalition, and anchoring changes in the culture. Whereas Lewin's change management model says that the 3 stages of unfreezing, change, and refreezing, this model emphasizes the importance of preparing individuals for change, implementing the change, and stabilizing the new behavior. So, coming upon the employee engagement, how we can engage the employees. So, emotionally connection should be there, motivation and initiative should be there, commitment to the organization where they are working, that should be there. Productivity and the performance of the employees needs to be taken care, how they are productive, what performance they are going to be built. Collaborative and teamwork approach should be there. Feedback and recognitions should be there. Work-life balance, that is a very important part. Today's everyone struggle to get a proper work-life balance. How personal and professional needs to be met or aligned. So that needs to be checked so that employees could be engaged properly. Continuous learning and development needs to be there. Moving to further, so diversity, the previous slide, I'm talking about the previous slide, diversity and yes, thank you. So here, diversity and inclusion, if we talk about what is diversity and how the inclusion really take place into the system. So diversity and inclusion are essential for creating a workplace where all individuals feel valued, respected, and empowered. Why? To contribute their best work, because until or unless they are not valued, not respected, or empowered, so they won't be give their best in their work. So by embracing diversity and fostering inclusion, organizations can unlock the full potential of their workforce and drive sustainable success into the organization itself. Whereas diversity also encompasses human differences like races, gender, and culture, benefiting organizations through different innovation, better decision making, improved performances, and enhanced reputation. So, what challenges there are include like there could be unconscious biasness, resistance to change, that I'm not ready to change according to the system, and lack of representation where we are not able to properly represent that what was required, how it could have gone through. So, which can be addressed through different strategies. So, what strategies the managers or team leaders can employ? So, they can do this by addressing through strategies like inclusive hiring, training, leadership commitment. That is very important. If we are handling a role of a leader, so we need to fulfill our commitments. Then employee resource groups. So these are the certain factors. Then inclusion, how inclusion really works by creating an environment where all feel valued and empowered, lead to belongingness, what in actual I belong to, what I need to deliver. Until and unless I am not belonging to this particular organization, I won't be able to deliver the full output result of my work. There should be equity, there should be open communication, flexibility, and benefits such as engagement, innovation, and effective conflict resolution. So there are some strategies for fostering inclusion that can include leadership commitment, employee participation, training, diverse leadership, and feedback mechanism. For any particular organization, the feedback mechanism that is very much important. Can we go to next slide? Thank you so much. So talent development retention. So how we can see that how the talent is really developed, how the retention of those particular talented employees can be done. So it could be through effective recruitment and selection process. Whenever we are going through the recruitment processes, whenever we are shortlisting, so we need to see the high potential employees. We need to see that what different kind of opportunities we are going to provide. What is the different job description, is it according to that particular person's forte or not? So that needs to be identified. Assessing the potential and identifying the high performers, that we need to see if a person can do only 10 hours work, so we can't give him 11th hour or 12th hour work, right? So we need to identify, we need to assess the potential of those particular employees, that how much the work effectively they can do. Then it further moving on, it would be providing opportunities for growth and development. Always we need to provide the different opportunities to our employees so that they can grow into their own domain and they can develop more suitability. Training and development programs should be there, like skill training and knowledge development. Leadership development, succession planning should be there. Mentoring and coach programs should be there. Sometimes people working into their own organization feel left out, that now they don't are not growing in a particular domain, right? Because they are so much occupied with their own work that they don't have that sense of feeling that yes, I need to learn new technologies. For example, now we have launched one um, skill development program that is for the senior level management, because they are already in 50s 60s, but still they are not capable of using AI, how to work. So we have launched the program so that we can support them, we can make them trained, equipped with the new recent technologies. And retention. So retention is a very, very crucial part. We need to retain our employees. We need to see how benefits we can provide to the employees to whom we are already working. We need to provide them some work-life balance also. Some flexibility in the work should be there. So we can retain them in a particular so that the top talent of our organization is not rendered and is not going away from us, because the market has full of competition. Everyone is competing, some extra benefits are provided to the employees and they just switch. So belongingness can only retain the employees if we are having a proper communication, we are understanding each other's issues, we are resolving them properly, there are no conflicts happening into the organization, then the retention is not an issue. So that's all. Further, I would give the slide to the Dr. Firdaus. He can take over and conclude.